Novation just sent me their LaunchKey Mini 37 MK4 in this white new finish. It's one of the coolest MIDI keyboards that I had the pleasure of reviewing. If you wanna find out why, stick around. The LaunchKey Mini is a fully featured MIDI controller that can do it pretty much all. Because it's my first instrument from Novation, I was basically a total newbie in their ecosystem. I didn't know what previous models could do, and this MK4 has so many features that you could easily get lost in them. When you first plug in the keyboard into your PC, you actually get a new drive with useful information and a getting started file. It prompts you to their webpage where you can register your instrument and then download useful things like documentation, driver, custom modes already pre-made for you for different programs, and of course software like Ableton Live Lite and Cubase LE, some synths, and orchestral tools. You are basically covered for whatever music you are trying to start experimenting with. There is also a really big online user manual with 88 pages. Seeing that I had so much to learn, I wanted to see how intuitive this small keyboard is. I decided to challenge myself and basically wing it. First and foremost, when you unbox it, you have some safety instructions, a good quality USB cable, and the keyboard. Straightforward packaging from Novation with no fluff. The keyboard itself feels sturdy, good quality buttons, and nice RGB lighting on the pads. If you've watched my last video, where I talk about the 5 things I look for in a MIDI keyboard, the feel of the keys is my top priority. These did not disappoint. They are somewhere in the middle as far as feel goes, but they are responsive, you can trigger a wide range of velocities and have a small weight to them, so you can actually have some feedback to your hands when playing. These factors gather up and make a decent keyboard feel for this kind of instrument. The 16 pads trigger really fast and easy. They do have a lot of functions, so you will probably be using these for all kinds of purposes, not only finger drumming or playing instruments. The knobs are endless encoders with quite a good weight behind them, so you can have really precise control over each parameter. You can have 2 banks of 8 knobs, meaning 16 different controls at one time. The screen gives you feedback on whatever you are doing and helps you make good and smart decisions. It is visible and connects to your DAW flawlessly. The keyboard has pitch and modulation strips. Wheels would probably be better, but you can get accustomed to these pretty easily. Finally, the keyboard comes with a sustained pedal input, a USB-C connector, and a MIDI out cable for connecting the device to physical synths. Note that the connector is a MIDI TRS cable or mini jack. If you need a 5-pin MIDI, you will need one of these adapters. That being said, my newbie experience continues after the first contact with the keyboard. I open up Ableton Live and then the magic happens. The keyboard goes into DAW mode and I have a surface with complete control over my DAW. You can see the outline that goes around the two rows of Ableton, or scenes as they are called, is the control surface taking over. You can set it in Options, Settings, Link Tempo MIDI. Note that you must have an Ableton Live version that supports it. Those scenes correspond to the two rows of the pads. As you can see, they have gone red, meaning that you can start launching clips if you press them. One more press and it closes the clip. You can also notice the arrows right besides the pads. If you press them, the control surface moves up and down and you can launch clips wherever you want on the grid. If you press on the next pads to the right, the clip moves over and launches. For me, this is really nice. Something I have wanted for a long time when using a MIDI controller, because you can use it as I have described in one of my former videos for live looping. You can stay to the end of the clip, close it and immediately start another. That way you can have fast triggers of clips one after the other and not be constrained to waiting for another loop to play. Something I noticed is the arm button, which is being controlled by the launch key. It has this not so bright red color as opposed to the one that you can see when you press the button with the mouse. So remember to leave it as it is so you can have full control over the DAW. Once those things are good, we can finally upload an instrument. Let's select something from the free software bundled with the LaunchKey Mini. Maybe this bass station. As I load it up, the LaunchKey shows on its screen the name of the track I control. Let's record something. I notice there is nothing happening when I rotate the knobs. Something must be off. I remember I saw some information about this when I was first installing my keyboard. The components part of the Novation site should make my life easier. I go in and what do you know? I can get a custom mode exactly for the bass station. After I load up the preset, I get control over the plugin. I can now change different parameters like filter, resonance, LFO and more. It's just there and works like a charm. Of course, all that I do is reflected on the screen. This is making my life so much easier. No more setting things up in Ableton. Just go in and let your inspiration flow. I've made my first track, and I'm happy with it. It's time for the next. I will use the bass station again. Some pads sound good. I will just tweak them to my liking. Next, I added some drums, but I will only play the kick and snare. Feels a little empty, so I can just add some hi-hats. If I press the record button on the keyboard, it enables the session record button, or as I like to call it, overdub. It lets you record other sounds on the same clip without erasing what you previously recorded. One final track and I have a new musical idea laid out in front of me. Time to expand it and make a song out of it. So there you have it. Ease of use with the LaunchKey Mini MK4. Even though the options are endless with this keyboard, your first experience will not be one that overwhelms you. Novation comes to your help to make you think less about how to enable features and more about what music you can make. This, for me, is very important, and it's all because of the DAW integration is just stellar. You get accustomed really fast with the controls, and the screen showing you exactly what you are doing is super helpful. As a package, the LaunchKey Mini MK4 is my #1 budget MIDI keyboard. Do you feel the same? If not, what is your #1? Let me know in the comments section. If you would like to know my top priorities when buying a MIDI keyboard, check this video out. Cheers!